Can you save a relationship? When your girlfriend decides to break up. 5. Tips from a psychologist. I hope this video can be a breath of fresh air for you. A person is led to break up not by feelings, but by a combination of processes that occur in the girlfriend's psychological field. Feelings don't leave, but processes in the field give an obsessive desire to leave the person. And since this is beyond control, they call it feelings as something lofty. In reality, any breakup is no different from the process of listening to one song. You find a song that you incredibly like. You listen to it all day long, set it as a ringtone, turn the music louder, but at a certain moment, you start to notice that you no longer turn up the volume, and overall the song is starting to annoy you a bit. Understanding that everything is controlled by processes, you shouldn't in principle care that the girlfriend says feelings are gone. This decision isn't hers. Therefore, you can't be angry at her. If another thought comes to her head, be sure that she'll follow this thought. I'll now explain this with an example from life. Once I was conducting a masterclass for women. There was a woman there with not very attractive appearance, but extremely high demands for men. Men didn't pay attention to her. But having built a wall of demands, she was convinced that most men simply didn't suit her. She had clear factors under which she accepts a man. He must be fair and tall. He must be a convinced Christian to have serious intentions. He must earn well. These were the points she talked about. A year later, she fell in love with the first man who paid attention to her. Religious belief, Islam, dark-skinned, and quite middle class. Conscious thoughts stand below the field. Therefore, wishing to avoid breakup, it's necessary to direct actions toward restructuring the field. On the channel, I describe processes in more detail. In this video, only vectors. 1. Don't try to convince the girlfriend. You try to convince the girlfriend about her feelings, but this only affects the field in the opposite way, demonstrating neediness. At this moment, she sees that you're reaching for her and understands that you have love, and she doesn't reach. Therefore, she doesn't have it. 2. Don't try to discuss problems. You need to give maximum freedom to the person. When a girlfriend starts saying that her feelings are leaving, she can no longer hear you. She doesn't need your explanations. The desire is obsessive, and you need to grow your significance. At the moment of overeating, the significance of food grows from freedom. If cake is shoved into you every day, you'll first say that the desire to eat cake is gone, and then it becomes disgusting. If the desire's gone and you're not fed with it, then, after a week, you won't mind. 3. Act only from your zone of influence. This is how you should always act. But for some reason, people act this way only in moments when the girlfriend isn't really needed. Stop forcing, trying to change a person's thoughts, and controlling her life. Want freedom? You can't try to impose your communication here, as significance toward freedom is higher than toward you, and they'll sooner give up on you than on freedom. 4. Cut off attention from the girlfriend and direct it to yourself. When you give 100% attention to the girlfriend, you're not capable of developing yourself. If you're in stagnation for a long time, then besides the girlfriend, you have no other supports in life. For her, you become an uninteresting subject. You're like a movie that's released every year, but the plot is the same and the actors are the same. Directing energy inside yourself, you become a more interesting person and constantly are in motion and get additional supports, ceasing to depend so strongly on the relationship. 5. Never follow advice that says you need to leave the girlfriend to grow your attractiveness. By leaving, you take responsibility for the breakup on yourself, freeing the girlfriend. She doesn't feel guilt for the act because you committed the act, but you in turn start thinking about why you did this and start asking for forgiveness, humiliating yourself. If the girlfriend has embarked on the path of destruction, let her destroy everything herself. but most likely simply by stopping feeding the person with yourself and giving them freedom. You'll come to the conclusion that you're not so disgusting, and over time, they'll reach for you again. If the overeating is strong, they may break up with you, but the degree of disgust will be lower, and the return will proceed much faster. For those wishing to argue in comments and impose their point of view, I can say one thing. In my videos, I don't invent methods and don't write my point of view, but only apply the basics of psychology to relationships. And by arguing, you're not arguing with me, but with psychology in general. I won't delve into your thoughts, and I delete comments with the desire to teach, so as not to mislead people. Better think about the fact that the desire to teach is one of the strongest defects that narrows the circle of people ready to communicate with you and build relationships. And look for an opportunity to get rid of this faster.